The town of Ravenshade was veiled in an otherworldly mist that clung to the edges of the cobblestone streets like a shroud. The inhabitants spoke of it in hushed tones, their voices trailing off into the unknown as they exchanged nervous glances. Whispers in the mist were said to carry the secrets of the town, secrets buried deep within its haunted history. Nestled between towering ancient oaks, the town exuded an eerie charm, its Gothic architecture seemingly frozen in time. The locals had grown accustomed to the perpetual fog, but when night fell, the mist thickened, transforming the once familiar streets into a labyrinth of shadows and uncertainty. On the outskirts of Ravenshade, a lone traveler named Samuel arrived, seeking refuge from the storm that raged beyond the town limits. His car wheezed to a halt, its headlights casting feeble beams into the obsidian abyss. Ravenshade loomed before him like a specter, its silhouette beckoning him into the unknown. Reluctantly, Samuel stepped onto the cobblestones, his footsteps echoing through the desolate streets. The gas lamps flickered, casting dancing shadows that seemed to whisper malevolent secrets. As he approached the town square, the spectral mist embraced him, and the air grew colder with each passing step. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the distant howls of the wind and the soft murmur of the unseen voices in the fog. Samuel's unease heightened as he noticed the windows of the quaint houses staring back at him like vacant eyes, their curtains twitching with an unseen presence. He stumbled upon the Raven's Rest Inn, a weathered establishment standing defiant against the encroaching darkness. The innkeeper, an elderly man with sunken eyes and a tremor in his voice, greeted Samuel with a cryptic warning. "Beware the town's secrets, stranger. The mist holds more than mere whispers." Samuel dismissed the old man's words as the ramblings of a superstitious mind, attributing them to the isolation that often gripped small towns. Yet, as he settled into his room, the air grew thick with an unsettling tension. The walls seemed to pulse with a dormant energy, and shadows danced in a macabre ballet across the floor. That night, Samuel was awakened by a haunting melody that echoed through the inn's corridors. It emanated from a long-forgotten music box, its notes weaving a melancholic tapestry that seemed to tell the tragic tale of Ravenshade. Following the spectral tune, Samuel found himself drawn to the town square. As he approached, the mist transformed into ephemeral figures, phantoms of long-forgotten residents trapped in a purgatorial dance. The townspeople, frozen in time, reached out to Samuel with spectral hands, pleading for release from their ethereal prison. The town's dark secrets clawed at the edges of his sanity, threatening to pull him into the abyss. The mist thickened, swallowing Samuel in its clammy embrace. Shadows writhed like vengeful spirits, and the whispers crescendoed into anguished cries that reverberated through his mind. Ravenshade's haunted history unfolded before him, a tale of betrayal, curses, and a malevolent force that hungered for the souls of the living. A spectral figure, the town's cursed mayor, emerged from the fog, his eyes hollow and accusatory. "You cannot escape the truth, outsider," he intoned, his voice a spectral wind that sent shivers down Samuel's spine. "The mist is our curse, our penance. You are the key to our salvation or our eternal damnation." Samuel recoiled, realizing that he had unwittingly become entwined in Ravenshade's tragic fate. The town's spectral inhabitants whispered their stories, each more harrowing than the last. A forbidden love affair, a cursed artifact, and a pact with dark forces had bound Ravenshade to a perpetual night. Its residents condemned to dance in the mist until the curse was broken. Determined to uncover the truth, Samuel delved into the town's archives, unearthing forgotten diaries and dusty tomes that spoke of the curse's origins. The mist, it seemed, was a manifestation of the town's tormented soul, an ever-present reminder of the sins that had cursed Ravenshade for centuries. As Samuel deciphered the cryptic passages, he realized that only an act of selfless sacrifice could break the curse. The mist demanded a life willingly given, a soul brave enough to defy the shadows that clung to Ravenshade's heart. The townspeople, suspended in their spectral dance, awaited redemption. Haunted by the weight of his discovery, Samuel grappled with the decision that lay before him. The mist whispered temptations, promising power and eternal life, but the faces of the trapped souls pleaded for release. The town square, once a stage for the macabre dance, became a battleground between light and darkness. On the fateful night, Samuel stood in the heart of Ravenshade, the mist swirling around him like a spectral tempest. The music box's haunting melody reached its climax, and the townspeople's silent cries echoed through the cold night air. With a heavy heart, Samuel offered himself to the mist, his sacrifice a beacon of redemption.
The fog dissipated, revealing a transformed Ravenshade bathed in ethereal moonlight. The spectral figures vanished, their tortured souls finally finding peace. The ancient oak stood sentinel over a town reborn, free from the shackles of its cursed past. As dawn broke, Ravenshade emerged from the shadows, its Gothic architecture gleaming in the morning light. The mist retreated, leaving behind a town forever changed by the courage of an outsider. Samuel's sacrifice became a whispered legend, a tale passed down through generations as a reminder that even the darkest secrets could be unraveled by the light of selfless love. Yet, as the townspeople went about their daily lives, a subtle mist lingered at the edges of Ravenshade, a gentle reminder of the horrors that once gripped the town. Whispers in the mist became tales told around the hearth, a cautionary reminder that the line between salvation and damnation was thinner than the veil between the living and the dead.
The town of Hollowbrook lay hidden in the heart of a dense forest, its rustic charm veiled by the encroaching shadows of ancient trees. Its cobblestone streets whispered of a bygone era, where the laughter of children echoed through the air, and the quaint houses told tales of generations past. But beneath the façade of serenity, a dark secret festered, buried in the annals of the town's history. Emily, a historian with a penchant for uncovering forgotten stories, arrived in Hollowbrook on a chilly autumn afternoon. Drawn to the enigmatic allure of the town, she sought to document its rich history for her next book. The locals, wary yet hospitable, welcomed her with reserved smiles as she settled into the creaking inn that stood as a relic of a forgotten time. As Emily delved into the town's archives, she stumbled upon an obscure entry that sent shivers down her spine. The entry spoke of a curse that plagued Hollowbrook, a curse that was whispered about in hushed tones but never openly acknowledged. Intrigued, Emily set out to unravel the mystery that had cast its shadow over the once thriving hamlet. Her investigations led her to an old cemetery on the outskirts of town, where weathered tombstones bore names worn away by the passage of time. Among the graves, Emily discovered a forgotten mausoleum, its iron gates rusted with age. Intricate carvings adorned the stone structure, depicting scenes of joy and despair. Driven by an eerie compulsion, Emily pushed open the creaking gates and entered the mausoleum. The air inside hung heavy with the scent of damp earth, and shadows danced along the walls like ghostly apparitions. As her flashlight flickered, revealing faded inscriptions on the walls, Emily stumbled upon a chilling narrative etched into the stone. Centuries ago, Hollowbrook thrived as a haven for artists, poets, and dreamers. Its town square bustled with the vibrancy of creativity, and the locals believed their hamlet was touched by a muse that inspired greatness. However, the muse demanded a price. Each resident had to contribute a piece of their soul to fuel the town's artistic prosperity. The townspeople, intoxicated by the allure of creativity, willingly complied. But as the years passed, a darkness seeped into Hollowbrook. The once vibrant community succumbed to madness, and the muse, now a malevolent force, feasted on the tormented souls of its inhabitants. Fearing the town's imminent collapse into chaos, a group of elders devised a desperate plan. They conducted a forbidden ritual, sealing the malevolent muse within the mausoleum, sacrificing their own souls to bind it. The curse was meant to remain dormant, but whispers lingered of an impending doom should the seal ever be broken. As Emily read the chilling account, the temperature within the mausoleum dropped and the air hummed with an otherworldly energy. Unbeknownst to her, the darkness that had long been imprisoned began to stir, its tendrils reaching out to the interloper who dared to unearth its secrets. Undeterred, Emily continued her investigation, tracing the cursed lineage through the town's archives. Each generation bore witness to the effects of the malevolent muse, with tales of unexplained disappearances, haunting visions, and a pervasive sense of despair. The curse, like a festering wound, had woven itself into the fabric of Hollowbrook's existence. As night fell, Emily found herself drawn back to the town square. The cobblestone streets, once symbols of quaint charm, now seemed to pulsate with an eerie energy. Shadows crept along the edges of buildings, whispering tales of forgotten torment and the price paid for Hollowbrook's artistic legacy. In the town square, Emily discovered a forgotten well, its stone walls etched with cryptic symbols. Legends spoke of the well as a portal to the realm of the cursed muse, and as she peered into its depths, an ominous wind whispered through the ancient trees. Compelled by an unseen force, Emily tossed a small coin into the well, breaking the centuries-old silence. The air quivered, and the ground beneath her trembled as a dark figure emerged from the shadows. The malevolent muse, freed from its prison, materialized before her. Its form was a swirling mass of shadows, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly malevolence. Emily, frozen in terror, felt the weight of the curse pressing upon her. The muse spoke in a haunting voice, recounting tales of despair and anguish that echoed through the ages. As the malevolent force reached out to claim Emily's soul, the town itself seemed to rebel against the unleashed darkness. The cobblestone streets cracked, and the buildings groaned as if in agony. The once charming town square transformed into a nightmarish tableau, with twisted shadows stretching across the landscape. Desperation seized Emily as she fumbled for a solution. In the depths of her fear, a fragment of the ancient ritual she had uncovered surfaced in her mind. With trembling hands, she recited the incantation meant to reseal the cursed muse, hoping against hope that the words held the power to bind the malevolent force once more. As the incantation left her lips, the air crackled with energy. The malevolent muse recoiled, its form contorting in agony. Shadows writhed and twisted, merging with the ancient well as a blinding light enveloped the town square. When the light subsided, Emily found herself standing in the transformed town square. The malevolent muse was gone, and the shadows that once clung to the buildings had dissipated. The air, now calm and crisp, carried with it a sense of renewal. Hollowbrook, though scarred by the legacy of its cursed past, was free from the grip of the malevolent muse. As dawn broke on the horizon, the cobblestone streets, once haunted by shadows, seemed to breathe with newfound life. Emily, her heart heavy with the weight of the town's history, departed Hollowbrook. The once forgotten hamlet, now free from the curse that had bound it, stood as a testament to the enduring power of forgotten tales and the resilience of those who dared to unearth them.